Hi there, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations. Thanks for joining me. I had this idea for an additional Christmas craft, doing a Christmas tree. And I was kind of playing with the idea that, sometimes you need something for space that's a little bit different, a little bit unique, a little bit fun, and a little bit inexpensive, right? You don't necessarily want to go out buying tons of greenery and baubles and all this kind of thing, have lots left over, and you only used a few of everything for your craft. So I was playing with, I'll show you my little sketch. We're gonna make this. We're gonna make this tree. So I kind of envision it with kind of curlicues and loops and out of paper. So I have some scrapbooking paper. I bought some. I'm not sure about this one because it's really, really stiff. And I need it to be able to bend. So I'm not sure about this one. I might be able to get away with, and I was trying to bend it in, this one I just bought, and I was trying to bend it in the store without wrecking it to see if I could. So I think I could do loops with it, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do curlicues at all. And that's okay, that's fine. So, this one I loved, and it's double-sided, which is even better because I get two patterns out of one. I have plain red, plain green cardstock. I have a couple of other little golds. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. Right now, it's just an idea in my head, so I don't know. I feel like I always say that. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I don't know how it's gonna turn out. Now, I envisioned kind of grabbing a pole, like a stick, a dowel, and drilling a hole into something. But I was out thrifting this morning and I found this. Just this. Nothing else. It had no hooks on it. Nothing. Just this wood with this. And I'm going, this is perfect. I just measured it. It's 1 3/8 across. So I am going to cut my strips 1 3/8. And really, that's what I need to do before we get started with anything. And what I'll do off camera, I'm just going to cut a bunch of my paper, 1 3/8 inch. So just so you know, that dimension is because that's what works for me. And if you had a, I don't know, let's say you were doing it on a pole like this, then you're going to do it skinnier, but you would do it wider than this. I'm going to do it pretty much the same width as this just because it's so substantial already. But if I was doing this on a stick like this, I would probably do a 1-inch strip. Even though this is maybe 1/2 inch, I would still do a 1-inch strip. So go a little bit bigger if your stalk, your stem, your trunk, that was a long way around to get to trunk. But if your trunk is a little bit bigger, okay? So the first thing is I am just gonna take my time making sure that all my strips are the same width. And really, that's the most important thing. You don't wanna have a skinny one with a fat one. It's gonna make your tree look weird. And we're just going two-sided. So we're not, I mean, I could, I have 4 sides on this. How much do I wanna complicate my life? I don't know about my paper situation. Okay, I'm gonna do it two-sided and then I'll see what my paper situation is and whether I add in anything else. Because 4 sides, I could go all 4 directions. If you're just doing like a round stem, you're just going 2 directions. That's gonna be more than enough. So we're just doing like a flat tree. So first things first, cut your paper. Bear in mind, if you're doing it 2 sides, 2 directions, right? So you've got a left and right side, you need 2 strips for every little decor piece. So make sure that you cut even numbers of strips. That's the only caveat. I have my pieces done. So the first step is kind of doing a rough plan. Like here you see I have just a big loop that hangs down before I get into any curlicues. And I was thinking, and I may have to cut more, but I didn't overcut. So I was thinking that perhaps, and here's where take your tree to see, I was thinking that maybe my first loops could be green. And let me start up just a little higher. So I just want to build my components first. And I'm just using hot glue because I'm impatient and I don't want to wait for other glue to dry. So use the glue of your choice for this. But I want to start to build my plan, right? So I'm going to have one of these on each side. So I need to do 2 of those. That's the start. Okay, so then we get to look at some curls, right? That, you know, I'm gonna repeat these loops periodically because they're gonna help prop out some of my curlicues, right? So I'm thinking that we'll jump into this one, and in which case I will be attaching it to my tree, but then I can bend it up and around, or I can bend it down and in, right? However I'd like. So what I do want is I just want some things that I can wrap it around. I'm just looking for round things. So if I start with this, and I just want to wrap both of them about the same amount. Okay, now one of the things, I just want to get it started because when I go to make it, I can glue part of it down if I needed to, but it's going to be how tight am I rolling it more than anything else. And I'm going to want this a little bit tighter. Just kind of squishing it so it kind of stays. Ooh, that one's lovely. Okay, that was good. So one more. Yes. Okay. So this is the start of my tree. And I may have these coming down. You need to be a little tighter. And I might be able to fit a little baby loop in there. So, and this is where the planning comes in, right? So if I maybe loop it with the gold showing, maybe this guy. Okay, I'm going to back these double so that I don't have something that's totally plain sitting in there. Okay, so if I do that, oh, virtually in half. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna do it with that major gold showing. So the first thing that I have to do is tack these together. And when they get smaller, I don't think this is gonna matter as much, but because it's down in the big loop area, you would see the a lot of the white paper, and I want to have that pop of color showing. So and then we'll glue them together. So you see what I was saying, that you'll be able to see that gold reflecting in there. Okay, so far kind of fun. You know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing doing this same project come like the warmer weather and making a big butterfly. Just that's the way my mind goes, folks. It's like I'm working on one craft, I'm already thinking, oh, I can see another craft. Okay, I'm gonna start doing more. So the only thing that you wanna do is bear in mind how tall you can go, right? And then you want to slowly move in, you know, so this is my base, I'm starting wide, but I've got to start moving inward so that I get up to a more tapered top section. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me build some components. I'm as well laying them out, they're pretty tight here, but no, each of them is going to need to have a little bit of section to attach onto my post so that I can glue them onto that post. So that takes up a little bit of the height also. Okay. All right, so I think that the next one, what I'll do is I'll curl it upward as opposed to this. So maybe we'll do the red one next. All right, gang, this is kind of my rough plan, but you can see like I've got this angled in and it's actually going to be angled flat. So I'm kind of in the, let's just get started and then we'll worry about it after. So the first things that I'm going to be putting on, and I'm going to glue them on in place first and then kind of zhuzh out after things are glued in place. So where can you guys see? So let me just bite the bullet and get the first thing glued on. So I just want this to be centered and down fairly low because I have a fair bit coming on after this, right? So that guy, and I did these little rolls to fit in. So I figure oh Lord, I figure any of those I can do after. I'm just going to want this one to kind of meet up, not be way off to start and then throw the whole thing off balance. So you're just going to have to be gluing everything with, I think I can just glue these little guys onto this first. That would work better. So you're always going to need that flat edge, right? To be able to line things up. Okay, oh, that's looking kind of cute. Whoops, sorry, that was me kicking this. So where can you guys see? Right? So let me, I don't want to go too high with any one item so that I create you know what? That's looking kind of cute. Okay, let me do the other side. And this is all that we do, right? We just keep going and just make sure that all your respective pieces that you're gluing on are squared off from side to side. Okay, I'm just gonna carry on and build this up. I figure we can add details in after. You have the option, like you could put in little bells in some of these loops if you wanted. You could add in, you know, little red berries or, you know, whatever kind of works with your plan, with your decor. All right, I'm carrying on, and then I'll show you what we got. Let's take a look at the finished tree. I still have some little curlicues left over, and I added some extras in. But here's our little tree. I just put some little sprigs up here, some baby pine cones, and a little star. You could top it however you want. If this was really narrow, if this was just like a dowel that you painted out, you could simply take the two top little pieces and you could just have them meet right at the top. But because mine was so big, it looked really awkward. So I filled in a couple of little spots, and what I opted to do to get these bottom loops just not to be flush with it is I just tucked in quick little pieces right here just to push them out a little bit. And you can see I go wide and come in and taper, and you get to do it however you want. I had debated popping in some little, you know, jingle bells here, which you could certainly do. You could even glue them on the outside if you wanted. I opted to go simple for a change because sometimes I think I do too much. And just, I was lucky enough I didn't have to do anything to the base. I quite like it being in the brown and the natural colors with it. You can see the variety. You have the opportunity of doing this any size. You could start with like just a short little stick that you have tucked into you know, a little wood piece, and do this on a smaller scale. You're doing you know, little half-inch or quarter-inch rounds and rolling them, and you can get really intricate. Mine was kind of big and chunky, so I kept it that way, but you've got a lot of flexibility. You can do this with something like this. I could have certainly done it in the 4, right, and had it multi-dimensional, 4 directions as opposed to just 2, but I quite like this as well. And in this case, I could have decorated the front, but I really think that it's that's the decoration. Let me know what you think of this one. A little bit different, but it was a lot of fun to do. I hope you give it a try. If you do, I'd love to hear from you. And I certainly look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.